So once upon a time, there was a game called Pong. It was a simple game of 2 bats, a ball, and a dotted line. A game where players used knobs to control their little bat up and down to try and keep the ball from entering their side of the screen. It was a fun time had by all, and of course it would see numerous releases under numerous incarnations. One of those incarnations is the subject of today's video, Pong for Game Boy Color. Yep. Another ball and bat game with knob controls being forced to use the digital pad for less than precise controls. Joy. So this is technically speaking a port of the remake version of Pong dubbed Pong the Next Level that graced the PlayStation and Windows computers, but naturally stripped down considerably. This doesn't have the story mode of the console release nor does it have as many modes of play. In this Game Boy Color port of Pong the Next Level, you have 5 different playstyles of Pong to play with. Classic Pong, Jungle Pong, Arctic Pong, Soccer Pong, and Tournament Pong, the last one being just all 4 of the previous modes combined into one extended play session. You also have an option to set the difficulty of the game, which controls the overall speed of the ball, as well as an option to turn off the annoying music that plays in the background. To the game's credit, there's more than one tune, but unfortunately all the tunes are awful and the sound effects are none the better. So about those Pong variants. You have Classic Pong, which is straightforward classic Pong, pretty self-explanatory. What you see is pretty much what you get. Jungle Pong is similar to Classic Pong in terms of the playstyle, but adds spiffy new graphics and power-ups that includes catching and holding the ball, as well as a bit of batting practice, or something to that extent. Said power-ups also apply to the next 2 modes, and speaking of which, we have Arctic Pong, which adds 2 penguins that serve as obstacles, and if hit enough times they'll crap out another ball for extra pressure, as well as extra points. And then finally we have Soccer Pong, which adds a second paddle to the mix, and you have to score into the net. In each of these modes, whoever scores 11 points first wins the game, and that's about it really. So how does Pong handle paddle controls with the Game Boy Color's D-pad and 2 buttons? Well, simple. The D-pad moves the paddle up and down, and holding the A button gives said paddle a bit of a speed boost, while the B button is reserved for enabling gimmicks like batting and catching whenever you pick up a power-up. It's adequate, I guess, but not perfect and no replacement for proper analog paddle controls. Pong is a one-player game. There's no game linking with another player to play competitive games, and as such, eliminating any potential replay value Pong might have possessed. Really, once you've played through all the modes and all the difficulties and such, there's really nothing left to do in Pong. The computer AI makes for an somewhat adequate sparring partner or punching bag, but games of Pong's ilk excel with 2 players going at it, and without that option here, the whole game seems rather pointless. So, I've already expressed my thoughts on the audio portion of Pong. It's not very good. Even by Game Boy standards, the music is lackluster, lame, and not all that great. On the flip side, Classic Pong looks like Classic Pong and the rest of the game modes look decidedly average, and that's probably being generous. At the very least, there's no slowdown or frame skipping to be found, so that's something, I guess. I suppose. I've really got nothing at this point. So, I don't know, let's just... Overall, Pong the Next Level for Game Boy Color is functional and not much more than that. For what it does a fairly adequate job of it, and the controls aren't completely worthless, just somewhat worthless, but it only makes you wish for a proper Pong game with proper paddle controls that plays properly. Even looking past that point, once you've played all the modes, there's little reason to go back to this one because there's just nothing left to do. So, yeah, Pong on Game Boy Color. Simply not worth it.